Good afternoon, Orlando. How are you?
Hey, George, doing well. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Orlando, so it's my understanding you're an insurance executive and you sell insurance. And just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I've been in the insurance industry for 26 years. We started this agency about 21 years ago. We specialize in a handful of things, but one of our bigger specialties is actually flood insurance. We operate in 30 some odd states, and our goal, similar to StopFemaNow, which is a fantastic coalition, is to really try and get FEMA's excesses under control and help people get paid when something does happen to their homes because of a flood.
And keeping flood insurance affordable is one of your unofficial mandates.
No, absolutely, right. FEMA's $25 billion in debt, and as most of your members may have already seen, if they haven't yet, FEMA now is starting to throw in reserve surcharges on FEMA policies. What are they doing with that money? It's certainly not insurance. It's not going towards replacing somebody's house, and it's been out of control, and it just keeps spiraling more and more out of control.
Well, it's a government agency. It's not. Unfortunately, it's not efficient. And so you sell in. Give me like the 5 or 10 top states you sell in.
All right. So New Jersey, New York, along the eastern seaboard, the Midwestern states, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan,
Florida,
Virginia, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina,
Louisiana.
No, we don't. We don't offer anything in Louisiana just yet. We're actually working on a product for Louisiana.
Okay.
And then some of the western and midwestern states as well.
Okay. Fantastic. Up and down the East Coast of Florida is
Absolutely.
good. So how do you lower like what are the top give me the top 2 or 3 reasons or why people are paying more than they should.
Sure. So one of the primary reasons is that most of the general public is not aware that FEMA is not their only option, right? And it could be because there's insurance agent. I mean, there's 100,000 insurance agents across the country, and they don't specialize in flood per se. God bless them. They're doing a great job for the home and auto, whatever. But when they're rating out the flood, the likelihood and then the reality is that they're only rating out FEMA flood because that's all they know. Right?
So what you're saying is an insurance agent might have rated you incorrectly, and they're making you higher risk. So even though you're a 50-year-old great driver, they're making you like a 25-year-old drunken driver. They're rating your house incorrectly, right?
Right. Or even better, as it relates to flood, they're rating you as if you're on the sandy beach, as opposed to 2 blocks away.
Okay.
Right? And again, not that they're doing it on purpose. I don't think that's the case at all. I just don't think they really understand how to do the rating because they're not educated in the ability to do that. Right?
Exactly. Just like in any industry, there's good and bad, and you might have an insurance agent that doesn't know flood insurance. What about the elevation certificates?
Right. So one of the other things that we find a lot is the elevation certificates are not necessarily needed at all. In fact, if I can throw out an example, we just insured a gentleman that found us where we saved him 32%, and there was no need for an elevation certificate at all. The guy was paying well over. Pardon me?
Is this the gentleman we were talking about from our group?
Yeah, it was a gentleman from your group we were talking about. He was paying well over $1,700 something, and we got it down to $1,200. Again, why? Because it was rated incorrectly, and there really was no need for an elevation certificate, which probably saved him a few $100 more above and beyond the actual cost of the insurance.
That's why I'm calling you and contacted you is because Joe V messaged me and he said, hey, I saved over 30% of my flood insurance. And I said, hey, I got to find out how he did it because imagine if everybody listening could save 30%
Sure.
on their flood insurance.
Right, and it's a very real probability. The likelihood that we're going to be able to save somebody quite a bit of money is pretty high. Right. The only negative on that is you have FEMA issued policies, which if you cancel in midterm before it actually is set to expire, they don't refund you the money. So unfortunately, someone's stuck with that FEMA policy until it's ready to renew. But as long as they're doing it before they renew and before they pay it or before their escrow and mortgage company pays it, they're ahead of the game.
Right. And so tell me how if somebody was interested in getting a look and see if they can lower their premium, how would they contact you?
Sure. Well, they can either call or go to our website. Our website is www.nobsfloodinsurance.com. And it sounds kind of funny and maybe a little, different for some
I
people.
love it.
But the reason we do it is there's a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of miscommunication that happens in the flood insurance world, especially when it comes down to FEMA, because they're obviously pushing their own agenda. So we thought going with the No BS moniker would help people understand that it's really not about FEMA at all. It's about protecting you, your home, at a true reasonable cost, not you having to subsidize FEMA's other expenses, right? So www.nobsfloodinsurance.com, or they can call us at 1-800-747-5311. Again, 1-800-747-5311. One of the other things we mentioned that I was going to mention there is you don't have to have the full $250,000 limit that a lot of these FEMA policies are at. Okay, that's another reason the prices are out, because there are other options where you can simply have the coverage that the mortgage company is requiring. You can always buy more. You can go higher, absolutely. But if your mortgage is only $78,000, why are you buying $250,000 of coverage? You'll never see that money.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And what about deductible?
So the deductibles, that's another good way to save money. You can raise the deductibles, right? The deductibles you can max out at 5% of whatever you're covering, or $5,000. Of course, you can go lower, but that raises the price. But the higher the deductible, you'll save yourself a few bucks as well. And in fact, one of the places that's really critical to take a peek at is if anybody has a pre-firm home that maybe is even in a historical district. These guys are getting slaughtered, right? And yet at the same time, they're, generally speaking, not really at high risk for flood in most situations that we see. And those folks were saving much more than that 30% than one of your members.
Now, if somebody came, have you had experience with people that had a basement, or they had a crawl space that was too big? And tell me what you had to do there.
Even if folks don't have flood vents, we can still have options to insure them. So basements, crawl spaces, lack of flood vents, whether the basement's built out or not, whatever the case is, those for us are not an issue at all.
Excellent,
right?
excellent.
Yeah, we don't run into those cases.
Here's what I tell all our members is very simple: is reach out. We've had a couple members reach out, come to you, and Joey V saved 30% on his flood insurance. I think that's great. I'd like to hear more feedback, good, bad, or ugly, whatever it is. And feel free to reach out to Orlando. Orlando, give us your website and your phone number again.
Yeah, www.nobsfloodinsurance.com, and flood insurance is spelled out. nobsfloodinsurance.com. Phone number again, 1-800-747-5311. 1-800-747-5311.
Excellent, excellent. Orlando, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, and we look forward to hearing some good stuff from our members from you.
Thank you, George. I appreciate you having me on.
You too. Have a great day.
Take care.
Yeah, bye-bye.